Before we start, since it's that time of the year, we have decided to take up dieting as our New Year's resolution. And as such, we here at the Black Hole have decided to eat light. Now on to the show.
Welcome intelligent life forms and also humans. Recorded on the 24th of December, this is issue 4 of The Black Hole, the only useful void in your life.
Since this is the last issue of the year 2116, let's recap everything that happened this year.
Temperatures have risen abnormally this year as climate change has been voted the most dangerous thing for millions of people to be in denial about. Only behind people who think McDonald's can be considered as fresh food.
This year was huge for Leonardo DiCaprio as the actor who played him in his biopic won 2 Oscars.
This year we also mourn the loss of all the people who died during the terrorist attacks on non-first world countries.
I haven't heard of any of these attacks.
Exactly.
This year we also saw Brexit, Brazil's exit from the South American Union when the older generation decided the future of the newer generation. Some people are also calling Brexit the Indian parents phenomenon.
Moving on, the most influential change in the city this year came when the government decided to change the names of airport gates 1 to 7 to more Indianized, localized names. What do you think of this, Mashrad? I mean, this has received mostly negative feedback since you now have to search for your gate instead of them being in numerical order.
But I still don't get why the government had to do it. The one example that they have kept on quoting when asked about this was the century-old change of names of western railway stations, which even then made no sense. Like, you didn't need to change Dadar to Chaitya Bhumi.
Yeah.
When people say Dadar, absolutely no one thinks about Western imperialism. People think about sweat.
And people think about other people. A lot of other people. Yeah, that's right. Also, this year we built a statue of Mother Teresa in the Indian Ocean worth 5,000 crores.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the same amount of money could be allocated to sectors of public health, sanitation and primary education.
All the other things that Mother Teresa would actually fight for,
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost as ironic as being an endangered animal lover and also a fan of Salman Khan.
And in other news, this year the reign of the Ku Klux Klan ended as a cult. Especially because now they are a branch of the US government with their representative in the president's post.
Also, speaking of cults, this year was huge for stutterers with aquaphobia, whose favorite movie was found out to be La La Land.
Also this year, Cold War finally ended, as now the Russians are allowed to vote in US elections.
One of the viral internet phenomena this year was the video of this man regaining his eyesight after eating just 2 dozen carrots.
2 dozen carrots?
Yeah, the medical professionals are calling it the 24 carat magic.
This year, we also saw the end of the Mumbai Hipster Society after one of their videos went viral.
Moving on to the inventions of the year, the invention of the digital shovel has been called groundbreaking.
However, the invention of an Android broom is what swept the nation.
Also, CID has been renewed for a 118th year.
Really?
Yeah, and Dora is still exploring. And Star Plus is still informing us that 1st Jan se set-top box lagana anivarya hai.
Yes, please. This year, please listen
Let's
to that.
finally just do that.
Yeah, let's finally.
However, the one thing that 2116 will be most remembered as is the year that Sherlock Season 6 finally came out. Moving on to the top story this week, if we look back onto this year, I think we'll find ourselves being extremely depressed. Which is exactly why it is apt for us to have our top story revolving around someone who believes that this is a pattern that has occurred every century now. So on that note, we would like to welcome
that someone. And that someone is Miss Archana Purani Singh.
the famous historian.
Yes, of our generation. And we're very glad to have you, Miss Singh. Should we call you Miss Singh, Miss Purani, Miss Archana?
I think Purani would be good.
Yeah, because we're going to be talking about
History.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So to start off, the reason that we are extremely happy to have you here is because of the article that you wrote 2 months back.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, which spoke about the year 2116 being one of the worst years is actually not by itself but more a part of a pattern that has been going on since around 500, 400 years now. 400 years, yes. So, can you tell us...
400 years, so that's...
4 centuries.
That's 1861.
1816.
1860.
1816. Yes.
Right. So, can you tell us more about that?
Yes, definitely. Firstly, I am very glad to hear that there are people today who are reading, about my research, which goes back 400 years. I mean, who cares, right?
All right, Miss Purani, just a little bit of confession on my part. I'm sure a lot of my listeners will agree with me, but our generation does not really care about history that much.
That's right.
I mean, to be honest, we don't care about what happened. We're more interested about what is going to happen. Like we don't
Yeah.
watch documentaries. We watch science fiction. Like,
Yeah.
like tell us what will happen
Correct.
next.
I
Don't
think-
tell us what happened.
Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
right.
the reason why we're interested
Yes.
in your art, honestly, in all honesty, the reason why we're interested in your article is because this.
I'll put it into words. It kind of predicts the future because of the past.
Yeah.
being
Yeah, so I
told.
mean, I'm kind
Also-
of worried about the year 2216 because I don't think I'm going to be around for that. But
Correct.
she's saying that this is all a part of a completely
pattern.
bigger pattern.
Yeah.
Right.
That's there.
Also, one of the major reasons that I am interested in your theory is because I can't believe this is a pattern. I want, as a person living in 2116, I want reasons why this happened, whatever happened in 2116.
Right, and my report does give that. My
Yes,
research
which is
does
why I'm
give that.
interested in the
Right.
report that you.
So let me enlighten you with some excerpts from
Okay.
the theory. So as I said, 400 years. That's 1816. So when
yeah.
we go back to 1816, I mean, it was the year we should not have a summer. I mean, can you imagine that children did not get a vacation? I mean, how depressive is that?
Did
Because-
we get offended by summer? Did we ban summer? What happened?
Oh, that didn't happen back then. No, we didn't get offended by
Then
these
seems
things.
like a good year if you're not banning because you're getting offended.
No, but a year without a summer, the sun doesn't shine. It's all cold.
Was it like a solstice that went on for the entire? What was it?
Yes, it was a global phenomenon.
Okay.
Wherein summer just didn't happen.
Like climate.
That's pretty
Yes,
sad.
yes.
Okay.
And because of that, there was chain reaction because cooling, right? It leads to cooling when you don't get summer,
Yeah.
and that leads to destroying of crops.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that goes to no food, that goes to poverty.
And
So was it-
diseases, right?
Yes, definitely. And it was declared as the year of poverty.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that. If a year is declared as the year of poverty, I get it. It's a bad year.
Correct.
But that's 1816.
Right.
So couldn't it just be a coincidence that 1816 was bad, 2116 was bad? That's it.
But
So-
then there are, you're missing out on two more important
Okay.
years, which are 1916 and 2016.
So are you saying 1916 was the worst year of 1900s?
That's right.
And then 2016 was the worst year in?
Oh,
2000.
Definitely.
No, I don't believe you.
Yes. There are facts to back it up. For example, 1916. I mean, US invaded Cuba for the third time. Well, firstly, let me enlighten you. You guys know about the World War One?
Yeah, World War, yeah.
Yeah,
The
that
first
happened between
World War.
1914 and
Uh,
1918.
it was a part of the two world wars. The first
Yeah.
one,
Were there only two?
I guess.
I think that there could be a third one in 2017, 2018 because of a new press. I don't know if it happened. I'm not sure. I think it could have happened. If you tell me that a world war would happen in 2018, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't really know history. But coming back to 1916, so the World War, okay.
Right.
Okay, fair enough to say it was one of the most depressing years again. Fine. But the World War also existed in 1915 and 1914 and 1917. So why is 1916 the worst year?
Because there were added things in 1916. For example, as long as I remember, according to my research, there was a meteor fall. Yes, in 1916, yes, there
Wow,
was a meteor
space
fall.
stuff. I like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting back then. Yeah, I remember that.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, you remember that?
What?
Isn't
Yes.
that 200 years ago?
Yes.
Dude,
You know.
Meshat, is this about that popular fan theory about? her
Yeah, actually,
being there?
we didn't want to bring this up, but we read some fan theories when we were researching you.
Mm-hmm.
You have claimed
that you were
being
there. Yeah, that
Yeah.
you
In-
were.
in 1800s.
So that was my motivation, behind going. I mean, which other person would go behind, 400 years to do such a research?
So
I did. Because,
you went back.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, I have a personal calling for those years.
Personal call.
No, like I mean, but how could you? I mean, sure. If I have a personal calling, I can't go back 400 years. How do you go back?
Because my soul is still the same.
What? Okay. Anyways, I don't want to get into
yeah,
that.
we're just this is
that-
getting a little too.
Yeah, it's creeping me out a little bit, but
Yeah.
okay, fine. But coming back to 1916, so yeah, okay, I get it. The World War was there. There was a meteor fall and
Also, bombing in Paris happened in 1916.
okay,
Bombing in Paris in 1916.
Yes.
wasn't that
Yes, very much. Which happened in 2016 again. You see the pattern now?
Okay.
You know, are
Yeah,
you
okay.
connecting the dots now?
okay, fine. You know what? I'll give you 1816
Right.
as the worst year.
Okay.
Then again in the next century, I'll give you 1916.
Great.
If the World War doesn't happen in a year, how is that year the worst? I mean, there are no wars, so I mean, it's a good year, right? I
Yes,
mean,
definitely. There was no war in 2016. But I think that there was more of a socio-cultural war that was going on in 2016, you know, because there were people fighting for gay rights. There were women fighting, you know, for feminist movements very much in 2016.
Right. Okay.
okay.
And so there were a lot of attacks. So when I talk about a socio-cultural
I'm sorry,
war,
I'm just going to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
you know, Mesha, don't you think it's and Miss Purani, don't you think it's surprising that we don't have these kind of problems in 2116 and still 2116
was the
it was the worst year ever.
I would clearly say, even after hearing all of this. I mean, sure, you have to give it when China builds a moon. I mean, you have to give it to a year being the worst year when Sri Lanka stops existing because of the lunar patterns.
I think we can agree to disagree, because I feel 2016 was the worst of them all, because I think we as humans lost belief in love.
What is
What's
love?
love?
Why did we lose belief in love?
Because of Brangelina.
What's Brangelina?
Is that a state?
I think it's a vegetable.
No, just stop, you guys. So I'll tell you about Brangelina. So my friend, I think he was my friend. He did this research on. He released a paper. I do not know if I don't think you guys read about it, since you think it's a vegetable, and obviously you didn't. He released this paper on Brangelina, which were, you know, the two biggest pop stars of that time, who were in love, who got married,
Okay.
who adopted children from all over the world. I mean, you know, how touching is that? They wanted
Soldiers?
people. No.
Refugees?
No.
Like children, like
They were
actually
just
children.
innocent children.
That's sweet.
Yeah, sweet is an understatement there.
Okay.
Because they actually took them into their house and they took care of them. They gave them shelter. They gave them food.
So then,
They
this
give
sounds
them-
perfect.
Yes.
What happened?
They decided to file for something called a divorce.
Do you think that we, as the generation in 2116 or 2117, as we enter into 2117, do you think we have a shot at love?
No, I don't think we have a shot of love. Because
Damn you, Brangelina.
yes, I would agree, because, you know, I think that was the most defining moment or event that took place, because of which I don't think until probably their souls are embodied again that we will believe in love, and I don't think that has happened yet.
Okay.
No.
Okay, but I still think 2116 was the worst year, because I mean, Brazil left the South American Union. I mean, there couldn't be anything worse that can happen ever.
I mean, what do you call this today? Brexit, is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Brexit.
Brexit.
Yeah, that's exactly like Brexit. You know, that happened in 2016.
Okay, did people in 2016 also lose a lot of lives because they opted for cosmetic surgeries that make them look like emoticons, or was that just us?
Honestly, this takes the regret we have after a bad tattoo to a whole new level.
Also, I'm pretty sure 2016 had no slavery, but 2116 has slavery. I mean, we only call it outsourcing to third world countries now.
Oh, and also, do you watch films, Miss Purani?
Oh yes, I do.
So, what other year except for 2116 were 750 films worldwide stopped because of legal notices that were sent to the makers by people who have claimed that they were offended by the trailers?
Yeah,
of
we
these
have
films.
this on report. We have
So this
750
can't
films were
possibly
stopped.
happen in any other year, and nor can artificial intelligence winning chess grandmaster championships, nor can that happen in any other year, nor can Facebook leaking private data in Middle Eastern countries can happen in any other year. So I can't believe the fact that you claiming that 2016 was worse than 2116, because it can't be possible.
Okay, so right now you're talking about, you know, all these disasters, as you call it, that are taking place because of actions of humans, you know. But if you look back at, say, 2016, we had natural disasters, which now don't take place because we have become so immune. We've made our ecosystem and our environment and Earth so immune to natural disasters that now they don't happen. You probably don't hear of an earthquake happening now, do you? Or a volcanic eruption.
No, but we did have a tsunami this year.
Yes, Because Pakistan claimed Kashmir, Antarctica, and the moon. And what happened is that China sided with Pakistan, created a new moon, and
right.
because of the new moon, tsunami came in, Sri Lanka went away. So we have disasters.
See, when you're talking about these disasters, they are by human intention and action. Whereas the natural disasters that I'm talking about, the disasters that I'm talking about, are natural. But back then...
Also, did you have viruses back then? Because we had a new virus that affected both humans and computers.
Oh yes, we totally had a virus back then in 2016.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It goes by the name of Zika.
Okay, fine. I guess that's it. I mean, fair enough.
We buy your point. We buy your theory.
Because if 1816 is the year without a summer, and 1916 had all the major wars of World War One, and then 2016 had everything from Aleppo and Zika and Paris attacks and earthquakes and floods in Chennai and Brexit even and Brangelina, then I get it. I can only dread to see what happens in 2216 now, because this is scary.
It is. It very much is.
Okay, but we still don't buy your point when you say that you were there for... But I think we should...
How could you be there?
Yeah.
It's 400 years and 300 years and 200 years and 100 years respectively.
Yes, that's because I think you do not believe in the very old age, belief of transmigration. It's basically that.
Okay, you know what? That might be something we might have to resolve in some other interview.
Yeah,
but as
I think
of now,
we would like to do that. We would like to see you, Miss Purani, again on our show.
But as of now, we are extremely grateful for letting us know about this impending, recurring pattern of extremely bad years every 100 years, starting from 1816 all up to 2116 this year. For that, we thank you. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you, Miss Purani. This means a lot.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure to, actually know that there are people out there who want to go back and know what happened, only so that they can, be more prepared for the future.
No, I think that's just you.
That's quite true, actually.
Alright, that was quite an intense session, don't you think?
But that didn't really solve anything.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, I'm just even more depressed now because I'm feeling sad about what happened in 1816, 1916 and 2016 now, along with our year. But you know what would make this better, Ritvik?
What?
2117. Because think about all the things that we can do.
Yeah, we could be spending more on science, on public safety, on sanitation and technology and research than on nuclear warfare and extremely illogical walls over the border.
Exactly, and that's what will make 2116 go away. That if in 2117 we happen to have a major breakthrough that will lead us to cheap, unlimited, clean energy in the near future. I mean, I hope fusion becomes a viable energy source.
Yeah, I mean, according to that, oil wars would be a thing of the past. And greenhouse gases and global warming would improve, right?
Exactly. And if not, then at least start with 2117 to be a better citizen, to be a better human being. And not because you should, and definitely not because religion tells you, and not even because human civilization, evolution, and the ecosphere needs you to. But mostly because this might just be your last chance. Like, think about this as your last minute starting. Because trust me, as I speak, there's a madman sitting as the leader of the free world who is obsessed with nuclear warfare.
Right.
And we didn't have to scoop out this information or even conduct a sting operation. He actively tweets about it.
I mean, we should be ashamed of the fact, even embarrassed of the fact that aliens are watching us.
And like you said earlier, 2117 can be so much better if we use resources and finances into the right things. Like can we start by not using all our finances into making statues? I mean, look, we respect your sentiments, but consider this. Would your idol rather have a statue of him or her put amidst poverty, or not have the statue and not have poverty around? Because I don't think our national heroes are going like, oh, I mean, yes, the money can be used for much greater good of the same country whose independence I fought for.
Yeah, but I'd rather have them use all of that to celebrate my existence.
Yeah, like they're globally respected icons of human excellence, not the Kardashians. And why spend 5,000 crores on a statue when we went to Mars on just 500 crores?
Yeah, and what is the function of the censor board? whose job is just to censor a prominent medium of free expressions, especially when it's already rated A or R. Just get rid of it.
And I just hope that if none of that, then at least in 2117 we start using landscape to take mobile videos.
Yeah, please.
So that's what we can do. We can overshadow 2116. We can all do so much more in 2117 because that will show that bitch 2116.
And that's our show. Before we go, in the last episode we urged you to not believe anything you see as a WhatsApp forward. Sadly, we have to ask you to do the same with most news sites and articles, and especially if they appear on your
social network feed with way too many likes and shares. And don't try to gather information just off a headline and scroll down. Don't do that.
Yeah, open the link at the least.
Think of it as that really sucky movie that you watched whose trailer made it seem otherwise.
I mean, think about it. Did you really expect sites to maintain their journalistic integrity and strive selflessly to provide hard-hitting, unbiased facts?
And let you browse them for free.
Look, if you really want a news source that does all of that, switch over to print media.
Or our show.
No. Print media. One that doesn't compromise their integrity with ads and unnecessary celebrity pictures.
Also, this show wouldn't be possible without the two of us and Veda. So a thank you to you all.
And a thank you to you all too.
And also we are extremely grateful to the cast and crew of Last Week Tonight with Johnny Lever for letting us use the set.
And also stay tuned after this for our celebrity cooking show, Cooking Bad with Chef Ali Khan, where in tonight's episode you will learn how to cook red velvet naan. And we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Break crazy.